This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. There's a lot of talk about who is going to be running for president in 2024. It is not an issue that is too far ahead to be contemplating. The more important question for me, and the more important aspect of that, though, is to look at where we are with our Republican Party in this country. Not our Republican Party, but the Republican Party that exists in the United States. It has become, it's always been a party of extreme beliefs and policy objectives. However, by always, I mean in the modern Republican Party. Obviously, the original Republican Party freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln, cited by almost every historian as the greatest president the United States has known. But because of the Southern strategy, things I've done videos on, if you would like to see those, search Dollemore Southern Strategy, where I explain in great detail with evidence and audio quotes of individuals who made it happen, explain how the party switched. But the party that we now have in the United States, the Republican Party, is a party of extremism. A party that is now trying to cover up for and make excuses for and downplay and whitewash the history of an attempted overthrow of the United States government. That is what we got. And some polling was just recently done and given exclusively to Axios that explains just how radical they are. And it's demonstrated by showing who are the most popular Republicans right now. And on the other side of that, who are unpopular Republicans? This is from Axios. Axios, first look. Don Jr., Ron DeSantis dominate poll of GOP frontrunners. Don Jr. is the Trump child with the strongest connection to the base and the most political promise should he ever decide to run. What a nightmare that most likely will be. Cokey McCoke, Don Jr. will very likely run because he is overwhelmingly popular with the base. The base at large, the general tone of the Republican Party is one that loves them. Some silver spoon up his ass, Don Jr. And the results reaffirm Ron DeSantis' rise as an early 2024 frontrunner should Trump decide not to run. Tony Fabrizio of Fabrizio Lee and Associates, who was the pollster on both of Donald Trump's presidential campaigns, concludes this. Now, this is, here's the poll. We're going to go through the numbers here. But this is what they found. We found Mitch McConnell's image has significantly improved since February, while Kevin McCarthy's has remained consistent but positive. Liz Cheney, daughter of Dick Cheney, no wilting violet among Republicans, certainly not a rhino, a Republican in name only. She is a stalwart conservative who's betrayed her own sister because she's gay. She is a Republican's Republican. Liz Cheney is incredibly unpopular, while Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene have positive images, but are largely undefined and driven by the far right of the party. Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump Jr. are well known and very well liked by most Republicans, doing best among President Trump's biggest supporters. Now let's take a look at these numbers. Don Jr., plus 55%. Governor Ron DeSantis, plus 54. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, plus 24. Matt Gaetz, double digits, plus 17. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the fringe nutbag who thinks the Jews put lasers in space to cause forest fires in the western United States. Someone who believes that the Parkland shooting was a false flag. Someone who, up until weeks ago, didn't understand the enormous tragedy of the Holocaust. An idiot. loved by the Republican Party. Mitch McConnell, plus 2%. Look, that's gotta sting a guy like Mitch McConnell who has sacrificed his integrity and any dignity that a man of his stature and position in American politics and history should have. And he is plus 2 by Republicans after everything he's done to further the Republican agenda of obstructionism and recalcitrance and regressive policies. After everything he's done, the Republicans turned their back on him, plus 2. And here we go, Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming, again, who's dedicated her life to the regressive agenda of the Republican Party, negative 43. Negative 43. This should tell you where we are with the Republican Party in the United States. It is a party made up of extremists. It is a party made up of people who either support or are burying their heads in the sand about an attempted overthrow of the United States government. A subversion of the United States Constitution, the document which Republicans are always carrying their little pocket constitutions around with them. Talking about we the people, rambling about our founding fathers, applauding uproariously when Donald Trump molests the flag. This is where we are. Trumpism is not going away. I said that months ago after the election. That, yeah, he will go away physically, but the ethos of Donald Trump will remain because the Republican Party isn't the party of Kevin McCarthy. It isn't the party of Mitch McConnell. It certainly isn't the party of Mitt Romney or Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger. This is the party of Donald Trump. This is the party of insurrection, where Donald Trump's dummy kid is the most popular Republican, save himself. More popular than Ron DeSantis, who is overseeing one of the most woeful, inept, irresponsible, sinister governments in response to COVID-19. 1 in 5 new infections in the entire United States are coming out of Florida right now. And the unvaccinated, unwashed masses of fried food walking around in Florida. Irresponsible extremists is what they are. We need to keep this on the radar, because this will be what we will be fighting in the months to come in both elections and also in ideology. It is important. I'd love to know what you think. Am I off base? Am I an extremist? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, a regular real old-fashioned email at daily@dollemore.com. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for spending time with me. Thanks for subscribing. And you know what? Thanks for hate watching. Thanks for all the hate views I get. Trolls, you're appreciated too. Follow me on social media. I'd love to connect with you there. You can troll me there. And if I bring you value, this isn't for the trolls, but if I bring you value and you'd like to support my work, there is a way to do it. You can not only buy merch, you can do all the things I just mentioned, but you can also become a channel member here on YouTube. Click the join button, find out what's involved when you click. And if you decide to, you can, for as little as $2 a month, you can help support and produce my work here. You can also go over to my Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, which is not just for the podcast, it's also for YouTube, because podcast and YouTube are two different things. Subscribe to my podcast. That's always a real good time. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.